You work on the national level.
I didn't channel the energy. I didn't channel the energy because at those times I was really just like still enjoying the social aspect of it. That was truly that was a vertical role. It was later, maybe 2 or 3 years later, that I really got involved politically. And that was really because Jerry just said, "We need you," and I couldn't.
But you've been a national delegate.
I've been a national delegate twice. Yeah, but that was because John's urging and twisting.
So your political involvement has been locally?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. John's been much more involved.
But Nate has been the conscience of the chapter as far as black-white issues. I mean, there hasn't been that many people in the chapter that have been that focused. And every once in a while, Nate, he stays away from meetings and stuff for a while, but that's because he's compiling some other stuff to throw at us for a meeting. So, taping and brown eyes, blue eyes from Oprah Winfrey and things like that. So he has always been the person who's, very responsible for the either workshops or discussions on racial issues, more so than anybody else in the chapter, probably, except for maybe Stevie, who has the theater of understanding, which deals with those things. But Nate, with our own local chapter, they kind of go outside the chapter as well. But within our chapter discussion, Nate's been that person.
So you've sort of picked up the Jerry Mallon mantle to some degree?
Well, to some degree, and I just kind of, something that my parents told me, they used to sing this song, Dream the Impossible Dream. The idea was to march into heaven with a heavenly cause. And I just thought, if there's no reason to be in life, you don't have a heavenly cause. And I thought BWMT was a heavenly cause. Mm-hmm. And I should be involved with that. And if you're not going to do it, then don't do it.
Why do you think you've never brought that energy level to the national, other than being a delegate? Because certainly, certainly you've been asked more than once.
I remember a few times. Yeah,
I did enter the run for the board this year.
Well, I really don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know myself. I guess I'm not motivated that much. I just feel like that right now I think there's enough has to be done within our chapter to get where it needs to be going, because there's always something else. And I just think, maybe we have better, to a good extent, we have better minds than mine
Excuse me.
in the board, in doing things.
Excuse me, I hear a lack of self-esteem here.
Boy, talk about false modesty. Well, anyway, well, let's go back to that. I won't keep badgering you here. What people do you remember? You said you were very overwhelmed by the first convention and just the whole thing that opened up to you. Who do you particularly remember from that convention? What people stand out in your mind?
James Creedle.
I know we're going to say the same people.
James Creedle, John Bush, Wendell Robertson, intellect, energy, confidence, a black consciousness. They knew who they were. Nobody was going to take it away from them. Of course, right now, I think the blackest white man I've ever known, but Jerry Mallon, just think how, those are the names that really came to my mind. They were, and the Black Caucus, incredible. I remember when I got the Black Caucus, thinking that, even on the social aspect, we never really talked about it, but back then, had an attraction for white men, and suddenly we sat there and talked about, we don't have to be in competition for white men. And it was just because it was so damn common sense that somebody had to say it, because we're all brothers here. We're all brothers in blackness, we're all brothers in BWMC National. I said, this is so damn common sense. Why hadn't I thought of this? And it was just like,
And I was always jealous because they always seemed to have a better time than we did.
Oh, we were all jealous.
The grass is always green.
One thing I do remember, I think it was, what conference it was at? But it was at one of those black and white conferences. And John knows what I want to bring up was John Bush and Tim Horan?
Tom Horan.
Yes. That was really, I think that was my second or third convention. I think it was that way. But what struck me was that at this, I had really got to enjoy these black and white caucuses. And the black caucus typically was late getting back. And Tom came in and saying that we need to get that together. We have a schedule. And John said, well, we'll be there in a second. And Tom knocks on the door and says, listen, we've got a schedule. And John goes, well, you just have to wait. We have more things to go through than that. And at this point, you know, I had not known the dynamics of these personalities. I'm getting upset. I'm almost in tears. I said, this organization that I like is about ready to fall apart in my hands right here. And I'm thinking like, oh my God, we need to get ourselves together here. So that's one thing that was stuck in my mind because I said, well, listen, if I'm getting so upset about this organization, it's got too many good things about it right here to let this die. And that always stuck in my mind. That always stuck in my mind because I said people don't realize how good thing they have until something's almost gone.
So, this same story, you'd be interested to know, has been recounted numerous times in these interviews. I think it occurred at the Los Angeles Convention. Were you in Los Angeles
Yes.
in 1985? Yeah, I think that's where it occurred, which was my first convention. Other people have said it was someone else who came in. I think Erwin Rothenberg said he was the one that was sent in, and he felt his head was nearly chopped off. But
Well,
it was quite dramatic. I know that.
whoever walked, I thought it was, but whoever did it, they did almost get their chop.
Yes, it's gone down in the lore. So you were at the Atlanta convention. You were at Los Angeles. What? You want to go through those early conventions that you were at, and any particular memories from each one? And if you don't have particular memories, that doesn't matter.
Well, I remember the the New York convention only because I thought the program was out of this world. There were so many workshops, so many things to go to, so many social aspects to get involved with. I was just another time overwhelmed. And it was at the seminary too, and it was very nice because it was like a dormitory setup, so it even made even more, us to be more together. That's the first one I looked at Fire Island, so I love that too. Milwaukee, I think I remember that was a good convention too. I remember it being with speaking from Philadelphia. Bill Bean spoke at the Milwaukee convention. I remember at the dinner when he said to me, I don't know how he presented it, but he essentially said that there's too much racism in black and white men together. And how people got, white members and some black members got very upset. And we had, I know we came back and Philadelphia chapter talked about that big time. So what he's speaking through, we're just trying to get people to react to that. And it got people to think about why they're there, why they're who they're with, and what their motivations were. And I think that's what he was trying to do. But of course, people heard that and reacted.
Do you? There were two. That was certainly the final seminal event of that convention. But of course, also that was the year of the famous name change debate. Did you participate in that? Do you have any recollection of that?
I have a little all I remember of that was emotional, to say the least. Back and forth questions. Frankly, I don't remember all the details, but I know again, I was tired because I didn't hear about name change again for a while.
How did you feel about it at the time?
I thought black and white men together was certainly fine. I thought it was but to go to MACT would be a natural progression from interracial to multiculturalism, right, in my mind, would be a natural progression. But again, with the programs, with the functions, I mean, with the stuff, we'll do your homework before you want to present something to a wide audience there. And nobody had really. They had we had New York chapter had a position paper, which was very good on paper, and they were doing good work. But that didn't mean that the rest of the chapters were going to do that. Let alone with the National Association going to do that. So I didn't see any of that happening. Like I said, New York at that time, New York chapter had its act together. You know, they were doing big time. They even had I think young MACT going up.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh, I remember that. Now, did you both attend Boston in '88?
Yes.
And Jerry. The three of us shared a room.
I see. Jerry Mallon.
Okay.
Now, that was your... Oh. That was your first... That was your first convention, John, is that right? And what prompted you to go, and how did you react?
Well, we were all going to drive up in Jerry's car, and so the cost factor, I was able to go. And by that time I was starting, every time I heard about the conventions at our meeting, I said, I need to go to one of these things, And so finally, now I was starting to get more involved at that time. So I did decide to go up, and I remember, I guess one of the most memorable things is the fact that they announced the grant from the Center for the CDC, Center for CDC, or however it goes, was awarded to the National Association for the National Task Force on AIDS Prevention. So that was, I was amazed that they were able to do something like that, and I was really quite impressed. I was also very impressed by Dr. John Bush's leading of a protest in the lobby of the hotel. I will never forget that. All of us standing in the lobby, about 7 floors up, with all the balconies.
Orchids.
And he threw a bag of onions on the bellhop's table, and he says this, and also all the people at the reception counter got orchids, and they were very good, but the bellhops were making snide remarks behind our back. And he said, this is for the treatment that you gave us. And we all went into holding hands, singing, yes, we are sisters, yes, we are brothers. And I'll never forget that. And then, of course, in San Francisco, when he led the parade in 1990, that was memorable. I mean, the man was forced at the end of the parade. And there were several, of course, the sorrowful times during the memorial event. But again, I guess I've seen some really wild bickering among our members when you hit issues like the name change nationally. And I think I'm opposed to that right now. I think I'm happy with MACT Philadelphia, but NABWNT nationally.
Well, now have you both attended every convention since Boston?
I have.
I did go to San Francisco.
What, in 90 or 2000?
2000.
2000. Well, why don't we go through the ones you went to, and if you have specific memories from the... Do you have any memories from '88, Nate? Besides the onions?
Oh, Boston? No, I agree with John. That was definitely a highlight for me.
Costume ball.
Oh, yes, the costume ball.
That was impressive. I was out of my mind with it.
Jerry, the costume ball that Jerry Mallon gave me this white cowboy hat to wear. Because I have to wear this blonde wig I was wearing. and a white dress that I wore at the town at the costume hall. That was the first time I ever put a dress on, to say the least.
But not the last.
Well,
I just saw some pictures of you in Fort Lauderdale, which recalled your Betsy Ross.
Yes, Betsy Ross.
yes,
But we can get to that later if you'd
Yeah.
like to wait.
Yeah,
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. But what do you,
Go ahead, John. That's what pretty much remember from Boston. I'm asking for social work.
what do you remember from Tallahassee in '89?
Yes. There.
Oh.
Yeah. You know, when they put the black and white teddy bears out the window, I thought that was kind of
What was that all about?
an effigy. Some of the people that were living in the dorm. You weren't there?
I was there, but I'm asking you to explain what it was.
Oh.
So our viewers will...
Well, actually, I didn't see it. I had heard about it.
I see.
So I didn't actually witness it. But I thought that that was a unique convention. Again, I missed New York, but the dormitory style, plus you had to take a bus to get anywhere. But it was, it made us come together. So, you know, it was very well done, but it was, you know, it kept us, you know, we had to relate because we couldn't go out, you know. And I thought that was good. I thought we needed that at that particular point. Unfortunately, I was the only person from Philadelphia at that time, so I was taking all these awards back. I carried the Founder Award back to Jerry and the Philadelphia Chapter Award and things like that. So I was really impressed with all this stuff. You know, you know, it's Tallahassee. I'm coming back with all these awards for everybody. You know.
So you weren't at Tallahassee? Nick?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought, okay.
I think maybe, I can't remember whether Bette Davis showed up for a while in Tallahassee. She might have. And I guess, I don't know if I can go through all of them. You know, each one had a totally different flavor.
Well, let's take them year by year and have both of you say what you remember. 1990 in San Francisco.
Okay, again, that was a dormitory style. Yeah, we stayed there right after the earthquake, and a lot of the rooms had the crack in the wall. I think Nate and I roomed together there. And I remember we wasted a lot of time getting from one spot to the other because everything was all over. You walk blocks. And it's true, twice. In 90 and 2000, the coldest winter you ever spent in the summer in San Francisco. They had a cookout, and everybody wore shorts, and they all had a huddle in a building because you went outside and got your burger.
It was in a redwood grove. What did you expect?
It was freezing. So, you know, I was really impressed on that. I missed some of the key speakers. I forget one of the founders of the National Blackstone, Charles Stewart. Yeah, I missed hearing some of the things he had to say, which I regretted. But I thought it was a very good convention. Again, I've always been impressed with the workshops, quality of many of the workshops. Some conventions have better workshops than others. But I'm always impressed when you know, even this year, you know, you meet people and you haven't seen them for a couple of years, and it's like they're around the corner. You know, it's just that closeness, that family tie.
It's exactly that. It's like seeing that you know, and I'm gonna go talk to my sister tomorrow, not knowing that your sister may not be there tomorrow, but you assume that she's going to be there,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how you view the people and members of the organization. I remember San Francisco. For some reason, I can't remember much about it other than I spent a lot of time with Jerry because I think that's what he was. No, it was the first in San Francisco I'm thinking about. And I remember Jerry was very sick. And, I don't know. I must got food poisoning or something like that. And Jerry he was physically ailing. I mean, he had lost a lot of weight. And I just thought it was incredible. This guy, even though I was nauseous and throwing up, there's this guy who died next to me. and he's very, he said, "Are you okay?"
Sure.
You know, like, what a question to ask. You've got major problems next to you, and and you're worried about me. And I'm like, here we go, losing another one of our bright stars. Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, and the other San Francisco convention, that's the one you were talking about was so cold that.
Well, they both were cold.
Well, now, 91 in Detroit, and that was Jerry's last convention, right?
Right.
When he brought the updated Resisting Racism manual.
Right. I didn't go to that one either.
No, that was a good convention. Everything was centered in the hotel pretty much. The talent show was in the hotel, and even the staff came in to watch it, and we had a ball. Robert Dingle was there. It was a great show. Of course, they had a regular stage up there. And it was quite nice. And Al Benvenuti played the grand piano, and
Oh, he played Rhapsody in Blue, didn't he?
Rhapsody
Yeah,
in Blue.
yeah.
And his pool party. We had, and again, some of the workshops. I was impressed with that convention. Tim West was I think, the convention chair, and everything was right on it.
Right.
I just had a flashback, because one thing I can remember, the last person I met in Milwaukee that I convention was, I'd seen him floating, jumping around at the convention, but I never talked to him, was Robert Dingle. We sat waiting for this before. I had never met him before that. So we were walking in the airport. Oh my God. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
I had never met anybody so full of energy, so full of life, and so ready to deal with issues.
So bashful.
Well, ready to deal with issues, not bashful, ready to deal with anything. You know, he can curse you out and talk about politics and say it's like that back and forth, but then I'm a reverend too at the same time. You know, it's just like back and forth. And it just that we have something that people don't really realize, we have so many dynamic characters in this organization sometimes. And we are really blessed with that, that's for sure. I don't get back to the convention, I'm sorry.
Well, that's all right. No. Just, that's fine. Ramble. I don't know if we need to go through every year, but
No,
Dallas 92.
that's you, John, 'cause I'm not here.
Yes, that was, I remember that year because James Creedle and John Bush showed up for the House of Delegates. We had Native American Ron Trosper, who appeared to be white. We had Jew, Doug Noble, and making a presentation for the board. And we had, who was the other person? There was one other person up there.
I don't know.
I can't remember the other person, but there were 3 white faces up there. And the 2 black men come in, not knowing what happened because the other co-speaker had gone back to work because he couldn't
John Williams.
stay. John Williams.
Yeah.
And you were just there because you were doing the board report,
Uh-huh.
because you had to present because you were questioned why you didn't have a report. Or the board was questioned why they didn't have a report by John Bush. And then, then this third person, and then the
It was Homer.
secretary.
Homer was chairing the meeting.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
And so, the issue with why is a national organization of black and white men together presenting all white men on the podium or the stage. And of course, an explanation ensued, but it was a little testy. And I could see their perspective, and I think that they would have been negligent had they not questioned it, especially since they were coming in not knowing why the other people were missing. But that stands out in my mind as an example of the things we go through as a national and probably should go through.
Well, 93 in Chicago. Did you both go to that?
Yes, and we did it. That was when I said, I guess in Dallas, I joined with Vincent Henderson, and we were co-chairs of the Anti-Racism, Anti-Oppression Committee.
Now, were you on the board at that time?
Yes.
So you were elected in Dallas?
No, I was appointed originally, and then I was elected, but I don't remember where I was elected.
Okay.
No, I think I was elected in Chicago, but I was coming off of the appointment. However, we agreed that we would do an action at every convention. And the action at that time, Clinton was saying, don't ask, don't tell. So we had the privilege of having the Human Relations Commissioner, the head of the Chicago Human Relations was active in our convention that year. He was one of the co-speakers. And we got him, and we formed a march, and we made ticket signs at the night before at the convention, and we marched through Midtown Chicago, carrying these signs on the sidewalk, led by the police and the head of the Chicago Human Relations Commission. And Bob Williams and Al Benvenuti were busy with the press somewhere, and John Bush is saying, "Where are the leaders? Where are the leaders? Where are the leaders?" And I said to Vincent, I said, "No, we have to make a speech when we reach this park where we're supposed to speak." We had this bullhorn and a sign, and I said to John, "John, I've never done one of these before. Can you help us out? Where are the leaders?" It was fantastic. But I was sweating bullets, and John really bailed us out. I mean, he spoke, Vincent spoke, and I spoke, and we questioned about, why Clinton is, having the don't ask, don't tell policy. And that was really my first time I ever led a demonstration in what is it, the third largest city in the country. And so I was kind of proud about it, but a little, apprehensive before it happened. That's kind of what I remember most about the Chicago convention.
I can hear about this. This is good.
Yeah, that was my claim to fame.
Well, the next year was 94 in D.C., Arlington.
Right, and I worked with Bob Williams. Actually, I didn't work that closely with him, but I was one of the co-chairs, one of the people on the committee for that convention. And I thought, of course, Bob's a good friend of mine. I have to say that, but maybe I'm slightly biased, but it did have one of the most tied together programs that I've ever seen. I had missed some of the earlier conventions, so but this program was very focused and it went very well. The only thing they missed was the black and white caucus, and James Credo came up and somebody else said, "Where's the black and white caucus?" I had to go up to Bob. I said, "Bob, they want a black and white caucus." So we had a black and white caucus, and it went very well. Well, I can go to Philadelphia when we get there.
Well, now during those years you were serving on the board and you were on the Anti-Racism, Anti-Oppression Committee. What kind of work did you do on the board on that committee?
Well, we formulated, who were on that committee with us?
I know, but I'm not being interviewed.
Gotcha.
Well, we agreed to have an action at every convention, which kind